Meet Natalie. Natalie loves books.
This is your brain on books. Any questions? And this is Angela. She's a very serious jazz singer.
Shooby-dooby-dooby-doop-doop-doo. And sure, we both like to stay informed, but this world sometimes, am I right? You know what we need? 30 minutes of meditation.
Pop culture meditation.
So we're here to remind you.
We get it. You're smart. But right now, take a deep breath and put your books down.
Natalie? Hello.
Angela.
Hello.
Hey.
Hi.
Hi.
Listeners, hello.
Hello.
We need to remember to tell our listeners hello every week. I sometimes think that they don't know that we're doing this for them. You know?
Well, we're definitely doing it for them, but we're also doing it for us because
Hello.
what if it's just us this week?
I think we know who we're doing this for, and it's not them.
I mean, ultimately.
It's ultimately for them, but
Yeah.
I think it's also for us. I want to just welcome to Put Your Books Down, everybody. Natalie, welcome. How are you this week?
Thank you. I'm great.
Yeah, you feeling good?
Yeah, feel good.
You look good. I always say this. You feeling good? And then you say, yeah. And I say, you look good. It's my little
Thank you.
thing. You're welcome.
I think your hair looks really nice today.
Oh, thank you so much.
Remember our
Do you like
compliments that we've been telling everyone to do?
I got a new NARS lip gloss. It's called...
Ooh, that's a great color for you.
Isn't that nice? It's just real beigey. It's called Nympho, which
That's too easy.
whatever.
Are you kidding me right now?
It's way too easy.
Of course it is. Of course it's called that.
Easy. I know. I was like, well, this is the one that works for me, so I'm just going to buy it, but whatever. I do love me some NARS brand stuff.
Yeah, I use the concealer.
I do too. It's really the best concealer, like the world over. So everybody, welcome to our podcast today. We are going to be talking about some of our prized possessions from our childhoods. And it's going to be the 80s and 90s because some of us grew up in the 80s more. And others of us grew up in the 90s more. So
We happen to have a 10-year gap between us in case we've not made that. If that hasn't been clear,
we've made
in
it very
previous
clear.
eps.
Yeah.
Just, no bigs.
It's part of our magic.
It's like it's the spark to our fire, I think.
It's our secret sauce.
It's our secret sauce.
Yep.
Yeah.
It really is.
Love that.
Notice I didn't say it's our awesome sauce.
Ugh.
How do you feel about that expression?
Did that not tell you everything you need to know?
Awesome sauce.
Awesome sauce?
Yeah, that is awesome. Yeah. So everybody, thank you for tuning in because
thank you
we
for
know
being
that,
here.
Yeah, we know that we're just a couple of nerds. I just always want to say to people, like, thank you for tuning in. Thank you for all the nice reviews. Thank you for following us on all the socials. And we know that we're not like, we're not like professional movie reviewers.
We're small potatoes. We know
we're
that.
small potato. We know who we are. We're not trying
Don't
to
sweat
pretend
it.
like
We don't sweat
aren't.
it. You don't sweat it.
Exactly.
Don't sweat it. We're not sweating it.
No,
I mean, I sweat
at
it
all.
sometimes, but I'm not really I'm not sweating it right now.
We don't really know what value this podcast provides other than some yucks.
Hope some yucks. Hope some relief.
Right.
Hope some things you can relate to.
Yes. And maybe
thought
you just
provoking.
Yes. Exactly.
Memory lane.
Exactly. Good feelings.
Nostalgia.
Good vibes.
Good vibes.
I'm thinking of good vibrations.
That's good.
Thank you.
I mean, we love the Beach Boys, so I'm not even mad
She's
about
giving me excitation. You know, it's funny. I was listening to one of our episodes recently, the hot takes episode.
Yes, that was a good one.
That was a good one. I really liked our hot takes. And we did that at the beginning of the year. And now here it is, end of July when we're recording this. And I think those hot takes, they still stand, girl. But I think we need to.
I have to re-listen, but I would like to say I stand by each of my hot takes. I don't know, though. I know, obviously I do with the Miracle Whip and pickles, but like.
And pickles. Yeah. Pickles was a big one. We went on for a while about pickles.
I mean, don't get me started. Don't write a check your ass can't cash. because I'll go on a pickle
That was really
rant.
the one. Yeah, that was a good one. Anyway, so today we're going to talk about our prized possessions, and we're just going to start listing them off and talking about them. So we're just going to get this rolling because this is going to go on for a while,
I'm
I think.
so interested if we share any of them.
Me too.
You
I'm really,
know?
really curious. Yes, totally.
So, well, I'll let you kick it off, girlfriend.
Okay. All right. So I was really doing a lot of deep dive here. So the earliest prized possession that I can remember that I had was when I was age 4. I had a little patent leather red, white, and blue purse. And man, that little purse, it had a little flap that folded over and it would tuck into the little thing, and it had a little brass, like little metal thing that would like click it in there. And I would put all my little stuff in there and I would carry it around with me. And that was kind of like my first memory of like a really prized possession other than my blanket. I had a
Oh,
blanket too. So
I
my
had a
blanket,
blankie.
we can't even talk about
My
the blanket
thumb was
because
my best friend. I sucked
oh,
the hell out of that thing.
my 2 fingers. I sucked my fingers. Yeah, I know. Weird,
What?
right? I know. I sucked my fingers. I know it was weird.
The middle and the ring finger?
Yes. Yes.
Huh. Didn't
Like,
just want to go for the thumb, or
I thought I knew you
that was
all
just too
these
easy,
years.
or you're different. You
No,
want to be different. I respect that.
I loved it.
All
The
right.
blanket, the fingers, the whole thing. Anyway, yeah, that little purse. I would carry that purse right now to this day. If somebody gave me a little patent leather red, white, and blue purse from 1976,
I wish we
77.
could find that.
I know. So I'm actually going back. It's 70s, not even 80s. That was my first one. But
Go ahead and do another one.
Okay, so I'm gonna list off some more.
Okay.
I also had those records. This is another of my prized possessions. Most of my prized possessions revolve around records, music, those kinds of things. There's a lot of that. And my first one was did you ever have the little records that had a story and then there was a little book involved and then the chime would go and you would turn the page? Obsessed with those. I was obsessed. Completely obsessed with those.
I think it was a hand-me-down. I think it was Lauren's, but I definitely
probably.
got in there. Yeah.
Lauren and I are a little closer in age, so it's probably. I also had Sesame Street records that were like I was obsessed
Lauren
with Sesame
had those.
Street. Oh my gosh, there was one called Grover Takes a Walk. And it was where you lay on your back and then Grover like basically walks you through a guided meditation, but it's Grover. And so you don't really know that you're having a guided meditation. And he's like, I'm going to jump on your toe now and I'm going to walk up to your kneecap and he just says it all in a very funny way. I actually listened to it on YouTube today because I was trying to remember if it was like, is this creepy? Like, is this weird?
Is it soothing?
It's actually really sweet. And
I love that.
I can see how like a 5-year-old would think that was really funny. And and then he's like, okay, now I've fallen into your mouth now. I need you to help me, like, get me out of here and like blow me out, and so like that encourages you to take a big deep breath. And it was
that's really cute.
It's really cute. Then also of course, like the Annie soundtrack was huge to me. Like my record, the Annie soundtrack, I think that came out in like 81 or something. Okay, so here's what I have right here. Can you see this? This is a gold little locket thing.
Yeah.
It's a little charm.
Yep.
And it has the broken locket and it says, I love you on the inside. This is the Avon Annie locket from like 1981. And I still have it right here in my hand.
Oh, you should get that like refixed so you can wear it like a real locket.
I know. It has a little, I probably could. I put it
They
on a
can
little
make
gold
a
chain.
back for you.
For whatever reason, it is not. No, it's supposed to be broken because in the movie, the locket is broken. And so, yes, it's supposed to be broken. So Avon put these out in like their early 80s. And my grandma sent me this for Christmas.
Get a new gold chain to put that thing on and wear it.
There and just wear it all the time,
yeah,
right?
that's like this is a really missed opportunity here.
I know. It's adorable. I also have
it's really cute.
This came in my Easter basket. This came from the Easter Bunny when I was little. It's a little roller skate. Can you believe that? It's a little porcelain roller skate. Obsessed. I'm obsessed with this thing still to this day.
You just carried it around?
Yeah. I wore it on a necklace. It was a little charm that I wore on a necklace. Yeah. Oh, yeah. YouTube. Yeah, people can look on. Yeah, if you're listening to this, you can go on YouTube and you can see what I'm holding up right now. But these are some of my little prized possessions from when I was
really sweet.
Little tiny girl, little Angie.
That's really cute.
You tell me some of yours.
Well, they're different than yours.
Oh, okay. Yeah, because you were
of course
the little sir.
Well, all right. I asked my mom yesterday. I asked Sally, like, I was like, what was I obsessed with when I was little? Yeah. I kind of know up until I remember, but you know, Lizzie and I were outdoor kids too. Like my bike was like my favorite thing in the world.
Me too.
Obviously, like
for sure.
My bike. Yes. So like if you're taking out outdoor activities, like my wagon and all that.
My wagon,
we're talking like toys and indoor shit. Like this is whatever.
This is stuff that's like close to your heart. Yeah.
Oh.
Or just.
Is it not?
Is it not? Did I not understand the assignment?
Yes, I just said things I was obsessed with.
Okay. Oh, okay. Well, obsessed with prized
that I just always had with me.
Got it.
But you know, I had, you know, major ADD and major ADHD. So some of the things I'd get bored with 5 minutes. So I'd have like a certain, I had certain staples.
Yeah.
But like when I was really little, you know, I had my Pee-wee doll.
Oh yeah.
Loved the Pee-wee doll. And I loved, you know, I had to have my movies and my programs, and I had all my VHS tapes that my papa made, like the 3 movies on 1 tape. Those were all, you know, that's just like a thing. Yeah. But my mom said I carried around a calculator. I just like loved this calculator. And so I always had this calculator with me because I've always loved pushing buttons. Oh, and that's so funny because like that could be metaphorical.
Oh, Natalie.
You know, later. But I love pushing buttons. Huge thumb sucker, you know. Yes. But I loved my calculator, and I had this dress that I earned that was a cocktail dress that was like black and had like, it was like a black tutu with a black leotard top with like diamonds on the collar. And I saw it at a dress shop with my dad. I guess we were getting like Easter stuff, and I saw this and he said, I was like, Daddy, I have to have that. He was like, well, for like, what do you like for what? Like, you don't need that. Like, what would you wear this black tutu outfit to? And I was like, oh no, Daddy, but I gotta have it. And he's like, okay, well, if you stop sucking your thumb for 2 weeks, I'll buy that for you and you can have it, but you have to stop sucking your thumb.
Natalie,
I was like, I'm shocked my teeth weren't flattened out because
I love this.
It's just like, I mean, no wonder I loved cigarettes. It's like, I was like, I had to have a little thing, you know? So I would always end up in my parents' floor on a pallet, like in the night. I would get in Lauren's bed, or we'd be on a pallet. So
time out for 1 second, everybody. We need to explain to all of the non-Southerners what the fuck a pallet is, because people.
A pallet is like building. It's like a dumbed down version of a fort. When you're little and you just put these blankets down on the floor and a pillow, and it's a pallet, and then you sleep there. That's a pallet.
So everywhere else in the country, we just call that sleeping on the floor. But in the South,
it's a pallet. You make a pallet.
From you when you were little, when you and I met in 2008, and you told me, just go home and make a pallet and just sit in front of the TV. I was like, come again? Pardon?
Yeah.
What? Excuse me?
I love a pallet. And you just like get a bunch of blankets, you get some pillows, you're on the floor, and you just like curl up in a pallet. Oh, it can get better. We just called that
sleeping. We just called that just sleeping on the
sleeping on the floor.
On the floor with blankets and a pillow. That's just like,
well, that sounds fun.
I know, but it's
not.
But Make Me a Pallet is like an old blues song. There's like a really old blues song. It's like, make me a pallet. Like, it's definitely like a old Southern blues thing. Like,
so I guess that's where that came from.
It came from like, people like
the blues.
It came from like,
I'm like 5 years old and walking into my parents' room. I'm like, I'm just crawling on in here. I'm gonna make my really, really weird pallet. Make a pallet, make a
You're all, no. I want to sleep on your floor. No. Make me a pallet.
I'm scared of the dark.
Exactly.
Yeah, no.
Yeah, I never knew that term until I met you.
We had like specific blankets for pallets. Like we had like pallet closet. We had a closet full of stuff to make the pallets out of.
Yeah. See, that is so funny, man. It's so funny.
I'm hoping this weekend I'm going to see my family in Atlanta for our reunion. I'm hoping we make a big pallet. Like we used to. We used to make the best pallets. And
y'all are grown folks.
They don't know this yet, and they won't hear this because it'll already be gone. We'll have already been there. But I'm praying for a nice big pallet with all the cousins and their kids, like everybody in the pallet. while the grown-ups play hearts and Bruce shoots the moon or whatever the hell, and we are all in a pallet watching like either Old Days of Our Lives or Comedy Central or like Mystery Science Theater 3000. Something. That's what we used to do. So,
I don't want to put
anyway.
I don't want to put Bruce on blast too much, but I mean I don't think he listens to the podcast necessarily every time. But
If
you
he
did
knows he's
say
talked about, he
Bruce is
does.
gonna shoot the moon.
Shoot
What
the
does that
moon
mean?
is a move in Hearts.
Okay.
It's like part of the card game.
But
and when he did that one time when he was playing my grandmother, Granny, and Papa, and Uncle Billy, and Uncle Tommy, and Bruce, and he won, and he ran up the stairs and mooned everybody because he shot the moon.
So that's what he's hoping
I
is going to
told you
happen.
we're mooners. Sorry, not sorry.
Well, we know. We're bringing it back around to the rear end once again, everybody, because that's how we do here. All right.
Well, we need to like detox
Darren,
from buns
you can cut
something.
that cough out.
Anyway. Anyway, I had a pallet.
Moving along.
I got caught sucking my thumb in the middle of the night before the 2 weeks before I could get this dress. So Bruce made me start all over. And then finally I did the 2 weeks and I quit sucking my thumb and I got this dress, and I'll put a picture of it on the Instagram or whatever. It's really funny. But I won the dress. So I love that dress, and my parents still have it. And I'm hoping to give it to Isabel, my niece, one day.
Oh yeah.
That's why I've been saving it. So
I want to say one thing about like in the 80s and like bribery was, I mean, probably parents
bribery
do it to this
still
day.
Is wildly effective. I think it's wildly effective today.
It was same. I was very much influenced by that. Like I was motivated by bribery.
How do you parent children otherwise? I couldn't imagine.
I mean, I don't have kids.
You and I don't know, but like if we did have kids, I would bribe the hell out of them.
If you guys want parenting advice from Put Your Books Down,
our
number one thing is
I'll let you know what you do. Bribe.
Bribery.
Yeah.
But
powers of persuasion, manipulation, and bribe.
Mm-hmm. Whatever. I was bribed for
probably
sure.
Some gaslighting. Like, I'm just assuming.
Yeah, I mean, there's always going to be a little bit of that.
You have to do something.
I had a teddy bear that, oh boy, I'm going to try to make this story really fast. But I had a blanket, like as we were talking about, I was obsessed with this blanket, carried it with me everywhere, would not let it go. And one day my dad came home from work. Have I told this story on the podcast before?
I can't remember.
I can't either. My dad came home from work and my blanket was gone, and he's got this teddy bear. Have I told you this?
You're like,
can't remember.
You're like, what the fuck is this teddy bear?
We are in the place
nice try,
where
Dad.
We can tell our stories over and over again. Who cares, right?
I don't.
So he's got this teddy bear, and I'm like, all right. And he looks at me, he goes, sweetie, I was on a sales call today because my dad was a salesman. And it was at Dakin, the teddy bear company. And the man who was doing the deal with me, he said the only way he would be able to like sign on to the deal was if I could get him a green blanket. And he said he would trade me this teddy bear for a green blanket. So I hope you don't mind. I traded your green blanket for this teddy bear. And I was like,
I don't feel the bribe. I feel more of like gaslighting / master manipulation / guilt on your end if you didn't say that was okay.
Well, let me tell you what I said. I said, oh, yes. I am so glad that I mean, in a sense, I was like, I didn't say this, but I was like, oh, okay, I understand that. Because finally, somebody understands the importance of this blanket. Like,
you felt validated. You felt
validation,
seen.
Completely validation. I felt seen. I was like, yes, I was heard. Finally, somebody understands how important this
really
blanket
worked.
is. PB had my number. I mean,
I would have been like, you manipulative ass.
I know.
I know what you're doing.
Well, you
and
were
that
way
sucks
more...
for that person. Give me my binky back. Okay?
Yeah.
That dog won't hunt, Diddy. But that's the difference between the South and the West Coast.
Mm-hmm. I was probably just like, okay. I mean, I knew it was like my time was up with that blanket. It was getting ratty.
Yeah, they get nasty.
They do.
Well, other than the dress I had, I was obsessed with, and I'll just name some. Like, I was obsessed with my Game Boy. My Game Boy was with me all the time. Always had my Game Boy, which then like morphed into my deluxe Talk Boy, from like Home Alone 2, which would get me in trouble. But also my parents would be like, can you play that back? Like, did your dad say this? And I'm like, I mean, and then, because I'm recording everybody, and Lauren's like, if you record me on the phone one more time, I mean, like, it was just
wait. So
it became
explain
like
how that toy worked.
attention.
I don't know how. I don't remember that toy. How did it work?
The Talk Boy was that handheld recorder. It had a microphone that like slid out, so you could secretly record people because you could just be like this, and it didn't look like a tape recorder. And I would just like record everyone's conversations all over the house.
Oh my gosh.
And then play them back for people.
Oh my gosh.
I mean, it was almost like it was exploitive.
Right. But like you could have done some
whatever. Watch what you say around a 7-year-old anyway.
Hey, you know what? Right. If you don't want me to have it recorded.
I was very mature, but was I? I'm recording you.
Right.
Is that I was like a extortionist.
You were like a sneaker.
As a child.
You were like
on
sneakers.
Yeah,
a sneaker.
But I also love like gack and Floam, the gack slime stuff.
That was from that show, right? Oh, slap bracelets.
Bracelets.
Oh yeah,
girl. Lizzie and I had them lined up to our elbows. We would trade, borrow, and then we heard this like urban legend. I think that if the fabric came off the slap bracelet and you slapped it on and it was just metal, it would cut your arm off.
Oh, geez.
So then we became afraid of the slap bracelets.
Oh my gosh.
I know.
Where in the heck did you hear that? Like some
Someone said it was on the news.
Bully? What? You can have your arm cut off by a slap bracelet? That's ridiculous.
Because you do. It's like metal with like hard edges and you go whoosh. And they said it was just like, they said some kid lost their hand at the wrist from being reckless with the slap bracelets.
That's like the people who said that somebody died from eating Pop Rocks. Remember that whole rumor?
Exactly. Yes.
Like that whole thing. Yeah. And also that you were going to die in quicksand. Like
I still believe that. I was
always afraid of quicksand when I was a kid.
I'm still afraid of quicksand 1,000,000%. And I'm pretty sure if you ever watched, was it Princess Bride and Neverending Story? How could you not? Right. You saw what happened, and I don't even have to say it.
A lot of quicksand.
And you know what happens to animals that are around quicksand, and I'm not going to speak of it again.
Okay, why did you have to go there?
Because that's why I still believe Quicksand Kills.
You will never... That's the name of this episode. Quicksand Kills.
It does. And then the more you fight it, the more you try to get out of it, the more it sinks you in.
It's like those finger cuff things.
It's one of my worst nightmares. Yep. I'm so afraid of quicksand.
Wow. We got Natalie's
aliens
number.
And quicksand. I'm terrified. Just don't get me around it, please. It's not even as a joke.
Have you ever been around quicksand?
Not that I know of.
Well, I mean,
I've been around a swamp. I feel like around swamps, it's quicksandy. You know, it's shifty. You don't know. Mm-hmm. You think you know. You don't know.
You're just taking a walk.
Angela, you don't know about quicksand.
You're just minding your own business, taking a stroll.
You think you're minding your own business and you're sinking. And the more you struggle, the faster you go down.
I know. It's bad.
Hell, it's all you see in the 80s movies.
I think you've made your point about quicksand.
I'm upset. Now I'm upset.
Sorry.
It's okay. You brought it up. I'm
gonna bring it back to a nicer topic. I was obsessed with my Cabbage Patch doll. His name was Vin Wyman. My grandma sent it to me. I wanted to be.
I just never got into it. I wanted.
Man, I was really into dolls. I was also really into Barbie dolls. Which
that's so hip right now.
It is. But I was not only was I obsessed with Barbie. I was obsessed with the Barbie that I got for Christmas that year was Kissing Barbie. Shocker that Angela was obsessed with Kissing Barbie.
Kissing
that
Barbie?
Was like my favorite thing to do is kiss people. But yes.
Well, the Sandersons are lip kissers. Like there's no way around it. Yeah. We just are.
Yeah.
It's just the way it is.
I have a song that I sing. It's from like 1927. It's called 100 Years From Today. And the first opening line is, "Don't save your kisses, just pass them around." And it's like my favorite because it's like, don't save your kisses, pass them around. Nobody's going to know that you pass them around.
If you hadn't had a kiss in a long time, come by the Sanderson. Like just be around a Sanderson. You'll get a big old smooch on the lips.
Exactly. I like kissing.
We took a break during COVID, but I guess once people stopped wearing their masks, we were like, game on.
It's like when you go to France or you go to some, like European nation and people kiss a lot. And you're like, oh, this is kind of nice.
And we don't just like give people kisses on the mouth. It's like we do that. We purse like.
Yeah, you
and
give a little
if you want to, if you head towards our face, fine.
You're getting kissed.
If you don't, give us your cheek.
Well,
we're not throwing it upon you.
No, but I will say this: your birthday party just harking back to your birthday party this year, was very kissy. Everybody was kissing. It was a lot of kissing.
Yeah.
But
it was.
That's probably why half the people came home with COVID. But anyway,
they didn't. Like 3 people got it, and no one in Arkansas.
You're right.
It could have been way worse.
It could have been way worse for sure. But anyway, Kissing Barbie had lipstick that you put on, and then she had a little button on the back that would like make her lips pucker, and then you could leave little kiss marks around. I love Kissing cute. Barbie. I also loved my Darcy doll. Did Lauren have Darcy dolls? They were models. They were called Darcy, and they were like supermodels. They were a little beefier than Barbie and a little more realistic,
like gymnastic-y.
They had like dark hair, and they were like way more like Halston looking, you know.
I don't know.
And she had a little...
If she did, I didn't respect her dolls very well, so it's probably a sore subject.
Right. Did you cut off all her hair? Did you cut off all the hair of
I was a child, and I had scissors.
Weird Barbie?
Yeah, I made a bunch of weird Barbies. She was a nut to happy.
Yeah. I also was really obsessed with this toy called Fashion Plates.
I know the Fashion Plates.
Oof.
Yep. My cousin Suzanne, yes. Those were
mix and match.
Those were cute with the colored pencils.
Yes. Mm-hmm. And you could mix and match tops and bottoms and hats and like the whole shoes and the whole 9 yards.
Such fashionistas.
I know. I know. It's funny because if you look back, I wasn't like particularly fashiony as a kid, but I was obsessed with that kind of stuff.
You were Christina Applegate in Don't Tell Mom the Babysitter's Dead.
In high school, yes, but when I was a little tiny kid.
Middle school till now. I mean, you were always put together.
Right, but when I was a little kid, like I wasn't really like that. I was kind of plump.
I sure was not. Okay.
No, you were
fashionista
like the little
was not what I was.
All right, tell me some of yours. I
was also obsessed with my Skip It. That was a toy that you swung around your ankle, and it clicked how many skips you got, and it was like it's like a hopscotch in one.
Yes.
And I would just like zone out and skip it in the driveway for hours.
Oh my gosh.
I even got Skip Its during COVID. I don't know where they are. Wow. I went through this whole like nostalgia, like, oh, it's the end of the world. I need to get my Skip It. Well,
right. That's
it was like $100
phase.
Yeah. Waste of money.
For sure.
My cousins and I, we played a lot with the Ghostbusters action figures and the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle action figures. Those were super fun. Mm-hmm. And I love Transformers.
Oh, yeah.
Love all that. That was like a big thing. And then those Lizzie and I had that Stretch Man.
Oh, yeah.
The Stretch Armstrong doll that you would just like, could see how far you could get it.
Oh, yeah.
And air hockey was huge.
Oh, yeah. Air hockey. Big time.
But I loved my R.L. Stein Fear Street books.
I don't even.
I read every single one of them. They were child murder novels. Don't get it twisted. It's not Goosebumps.
Why does this not surprise anyone?
It is not Goosebumps. It's Fear Street, and they were like decapitations and shit. Okay, like these were like legit murder books.
Murder.
And I just read all of them. So.
Wow.
Oh, and this is like aside from my Big Bopper, my Tiger Beat. I loved those magazines. I had my People magazines when I was little. Yeah. Mom got me a script, and then I loved when I was really young, my New Kids on the Block button of Joey. Oh, yeah. I had the New Kids on the Block trading cards. Oh, and here's also something that I was into that I wanted to skip it, and I feel like it's a lying of omission if I don't own it. And
you're gonna come clean for us right now.
I'm gonna come clean. I feel like it's relatable.
Okay. You can say it. It's okay.
I loved the Garbage Pail Kids. I had the trading cards, and I loved the movie, and I loved the jokes.
Let's take a moment.
I tried to rewatch it in college.
I'm going to hold space for you for this.
I found the DVD in college at the Walmart, and I was like, oh my God, nostalgia. I lasted maybe 10 minutes before I almost I needed a barf bucket because it is the nastiest piece of shit garbage I've ever seen in my life. Not to mention the entire beginning is like this little boy being bullied by these bullies that have like switchblade knives. Okay, that's not normal.
Yeah, it's not
either.
okay.
It's not okay.
We
got things. But here's the side note. This is important.
Yeah.
One of my nicknames came from the Garbage Pail Kids, which is why I thought it was cool. And it's the nastiest one, Nat Nerd. Nat Nerd has all these pimples. And I hate that word, but that's the only word to describe what's on this guy's face. And wears a cape.
Well,
a Superman cape.
Listen,
and has curly, tight curl, red hair. Tight curls.
Not all heroes wear capes, Nat.
Clearly. Sorry. So, and I still get called Nat Nerd. And it's
still my hero.
I tinge a little bit. But Nat Nerd was a thing, and that was a Garbage Pail Kid, and like Messy Tessie, and like, what was it, like Vomit Valerie?
Yeah,
like, I thought that shit was hilarious.
I know.
It's sick.
Yeah.
Sick.
It's just so gross. I never, I was a little too old for that. I think I was in like junior high when that stuff was out. And so, or
people
maybe like
loved
high
it
school.
in junior high.
I know they did. They absolutely did. So gross, dude.
But the Sandersons are, and this is true. This is a fact.
Yeah.
We are obsessed with gross out humor. We love a gross out. Sally's the worst. Gross out humor. Sally still gives out number 2 pencils. These are pencils with a number 2 plastic looking number 2, like actual little dump on the end of a pencil.
We got it.
And she gives it to, and she gives out fake vomit still. And she's,
I've never gotten any fake vomit from Sally, so I'm just put my note.
Did she give you a number 2 pencil?
No, but put a note in to Sally that I'm looking for some stuff. Let's move along from the grossness because we need to talk about our clothes because I was obsessed with my clothes in the 80s. Obsessed with
Well, I think
clothing.
You're just going to be solo on this one. I wore Bugle Boy and Vans.
Yeah, but that was your thing. You wore Bugle Boy and Vans.
And
I
Umbros.
wore, everybody who's listening to this who is a Gen Xer, I'm just going to rattle off some of the stuff. I'm going to go real fast because I don't want to get this too long. Units clothing. Units from the mall. Does anybody remember Units? Do you remember Units? It was the clothing that you could like put the little things on, put them all together, different units. Okay.
I thought those were called multiples. Lauren wore multiples.
Well, they might have been called multiples where you lived, but
like
in our
a headband could be a tube top.
Yes, exactly.
And they had the X's and O's all over them and the different colors.
Yes, and then
multiples.
They were all like
the tube top could be a headband, a tube top, and a skirt.
Exactly, and then there yes.
Okay, Lauren had multiples. Yeah, those are multiples.
Forenza sweaters, the ones with the deep V was the thing. Huarache sandals, jeans with flowers printed on them. I was obsessed.
We should have Lauren on this because y'all would be like bing banging right off.
Oh my gosh, just like any kind of like jean on jean situation. The stonewashed, acid washed jeans, holes in the jeans,
for days,
zippers on my Guess jeans.
The longest zipper you've ever seen in your life.
Oh my gosh, the longest
from your knees to your belly button.
The inseam on those pants was like crazy. I had Guess jeans. I had Guess jeans that were dyed brown. They were brown Guess jeans with the zippers on the ankles. Yep. And then I would wear it with an oversized cable knit sweater with matching socks. Oh, I would wear that right now. I would wear that to this day. I sent you a picture last week about my big, gigantic, huge neck, turtleneck sweater, cable knit sweater, the off-white one with my palazzo pants that I wore. Yes, I totally wear that. Right.
I think your style is like people would wear that now.
Yeah,
people do, and they're like fashionistas.
I also had one of my dad's old oversized blazers that he had had like a small check pattern. And then I would wear it with like a pocket square that was like a lace pocket square with like a brooch like on the pocket square. And then it was oversized. I would roll up the sleeves and then wear it with a black skirt and like my permed hair. And it was very Kelly McGillis. Okay.
Oh.
Very, very Molly Ringwald meets Kelly McGillis.
I was just going to say you're Molly Ringwald, dude.
Yeah, for sure. Anyway, I could go on and on and on. We have to do a pit stop.
I think we should we do need to do a pit stop, but I think you should do a fashion show for the pod one day.
Oh gosh, I have pictures.
Recreate all your looks.
Yeah, I could recreate the looks.
You could call Alex from Crying Weasel, and I think get a lot of your pieces. Yep. And we could just like jaunt up to New York and get some stuff too.
Sure. Yeah.
Well, I love going down memory lane.
Me too.
Yeah, that was great. I do. I have like, and for our pit stop, do the thing. This has nothing to do with Brad Pitt. So
okay, great.
I have a couple of questions for you, and then I wanted to ask you a question.
Okay,
well,
great.
Actually,
you have a couple questions for me,
and I have a couple questions, and then I want to ask you a question.
Okay, super. Let me get my walkie-talkies, and I'll just talk back. Okay, go ahead.
Talk back. Okay, so I just randomly today wrote 2 questions for you, and then I have one I didn't want to share yet.
Is this going to embarrass me in some way?
No.
Okay.
Yeah, that's what I aim to do.
Is this like a gotcha?
You know what I think is really funny? Humiliation. That's a fun game. Have we met?
I didn't know. Just wanted to see. Okay. Your face. I wish people could see your face right now.
But I want you to answer these like you have to kind of be quick.
Fine.
Okay?
I can do that.
In your opinion, who is the greatest singer of all time?
Oh, God.
Quick.
That's a really hard question.
It's not.
Yes, it is.
You can always change your answer another time. Right now, who do you think is the greatest singer of all time?
I mean, the first person who came to my mind when you asked that, because it's a pop culture podcast, is Whitney Houston.
Duh. Same.
Okay, but that's just pop culture. But that's just pop culture. That's not like jazz.
Yeah,
that's
we know.
Not
we know, Angela. That was the whole point. It's just okay. We're moving on.
That came to my mind.
You can go to the deep cuts, but we're not doing that right now.
Fine.
Got it. You know all the B-sides. Anyway.
Got it.
All right. Another question. If your life was an 80s or 90s movie, which one would you want? I got an 80s one and a 90s one. So,
okay, my 80s movie, the life that I have as an 80s movie is Pretty in Pink. Period.
Okay. Mine's
Hands
Goonies because I want treasure. I know, but I want treasure. And I obviously, how else are we going to get greatest hits, Sloth's greatest hits by Nat?
Right. It's Goonies.
But I want treasure. I want gold. So, okay.
Keep another question for me. I love these questions.
What's your 90s movie? If you get mine, I'm going to jump off a bridge. Not really.
Please don't jump off a bridge.
Lighten up. It's tequila.
Girlfriend, it's When Harry Met Sally.
Oh, mine's not.
Okay.
Mine's Pretty Woman.
Oh, yeah. Pretty Woman. Darren, is that yours too?
No. Yeah, it's Darren's too.
Yeah.
And then
Darren
a little back and forth real quick before we wind down.
Yeah.
We had gone back and forth about having an entire podcast dedicated to this topic. And we realized how awkward and weird I think that would become. We were talking about different celebrities that we think that like celebrity doppelgangers. And we were trying to figure out who each of us look like and this and that. So I wanted to share with you.
Yes.
Which is so funny because we've already touched on this. Like some of the people I think that you look like, you remind me of physically.
And I'll tell you yours. Yeah.
Actresses. Mm-hmm. And then I have an animal.
Okay.
I couldn't, like what animal I would think you would be.
I'm trying to think of an animal for you, but I've got one. Okay, go ahead.
So I think you're very Judy Garland.
Oh, that's so sweet because
like Wizard of Oz.
I had Judy Garland on my list for you too.
That's you crazy.
I did. I really did for face-wise, yeah.
Well, and then I have a rocker person that you would not think I would say. And I don't know if you've ever heard this before.
I want to get in
like Debbie Harry.
Ooh, yes. Yes.
You throw like a blonde wig on. Like you got the Debbie Harry chick.
My mom actually kind of looks like Debbie Harry. Like my mom is born the same year as Debbie Harry.
So that makes sense. So this isn't what I mean. Like I was looking online. I was like, oh shit, that kind of look like I can see.
My mom also looks a lot like Belinda Carlisle.
Mouth too.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep. So we got that in our family. That look. Yep.
And then Molly Ringwald.
Oh, that's so sweet.
Oh, is your 80s doppelganger.
So
I know, I'm so cute. I'm so cute. And then the animal, I have you as a singing cat with big lips. Because if you were an animal, you would be a cat because you're very like sarcastic and sassy.
Like a rower. Yeah.
That's
well, so I'm going to start with the animal for you. So the animal that I have for you is just Animal from the Muppets, just because I think
oh my God, I just said I look like Animal with my new bangs when I woke up the other day.
You would just be, if you just put...
Wait. Let me let that sink in for just a second. Animal from the Muppets.
Yeah.
The drummer, right?
Yeah.
Is my animal.
That guy. That's you. Like, if I gave you some drums and put a big old honkin' like red wig on you or whatever and gave you some drums, you would go nuts on those drums.
You're right.
That's you. I'm not wrong.
It was worth you doing that impression.
Animal
I'm going to write
impersonation?
that down.
You're welcome.
Animal. Okay, go on.
The other celebrity doppelganger who, I mean, you definitely have is Kristen Wiig. Like, in spades. Like, whenever I see Kristen Wiig, I'm like, that is Natalie. She reminds me so much of Natalie every single time.
Do you think it's just like facial expressions or like mannerisms? Because I probably copied everything she's ever done.
It's all of the above. You look like her. You talk like her. Your humor is the same. If I put a big old like fro brown wig and a big bow in your hair, you're Gilly. Like you can do Gilly. Like
there's so many layers of
you're
how
totally
Gilly
Kristen
I am.
Wiig. Like it's crazy.
Very Gilly.
And then yeah, for sure. And then like the third one that I think we all know who is like your main doppelganger and like just
the number one.
You're welcome everybody. You're welcome world. You're welcome.
She's gonna say it.
It's Justin Bieber.
Yeah.
Is your doppelganger. Like
it's Justin
You're
Bieber.
basically like, you could be Justin Bieber's mother and or twin.
Look at me right now with the bangs and like my hair's pulled back. Like,
yeah,
Justin Bieber's here right now.
He's here. I feel like I'm doing a podcast with the J, with the Biebs.
I'm not even mad about it.
I'm not
Good
mad
for
about
Justin
it either.
Bieber. I'm older than him. I'm older. I was first.
You were first.
You're welcome, Justin Bieber.
You're welcome, Justin
Cut
Bieber.
me a check, bitch.
Yeah. Exactly.
That was probably too far.
You kind of Angela it, but that's okay.
That's all right.
You natted
I always will with the
cuss
cuss words.
Yeah. Anyway, this has been a super fun conversation because I feel like this is one that we could just go on. I say this every time. I feel like we could just go on and on and on.
It's like your tagline.
It's my tagline. But, obviously we have to wrap it up because we're trying to get people out of here. We don't want them to be exhausted by our podcast. We want them to feel like, okay, I have time to listen to this. Mm-hmm. So anyway, everybody, thank you for listening to us on this little journey down memory lane. There's so much more that I could have talked about, like all my music stuff, and because I was obsessed with so much music in the 90s, and we just
my boombox with "Love Me Tender" Elvis tape always in it.
Yeah, boomboxes were a huge thing for me too. But
you had caboodles out the wazoo. I can just see
caboodles. I had caboodles with all my makeup in there, all my hair product. Yes, it was all.
I was allergic to gel, so I couldn't.
Do you remember the Aussie spray gel?
Yeah, I love that smell. I have Aussie shampoo in my shower. It smells delicious.
I don't know. It's kind of weird. It reminds me of my ex-boyfriend, so I don't like it anymore. Whatever.
Oh, damn.
But I will spray some original Ralph Lauren perfume on any day. That shit smells good.
CK1?
Yeah. All right, girlfriend. I love you so much.
I love you.
Namaste, pushing buttons on my calculator.
Namaste, fashionista Angela, 1989.
Sounds like a plan, girlfriend.
Sounds good.
Okay.
Love you. Bye.
Bye-bye. Now, isn't that better? Thanks for listening. Feel free to leave us a review and be sure to subscribe wherever you get your shows. Put Your Books Down is produced by ClantonCreative.com.